What's going on? It's your boy Dice here, and I want to welcome you to the next part of the video series on cleaning the slate. Now, I thought I'd split it into two parts just to make it a little bit easier to digest, so I've actually cut it. This is literally going to be a continuation of the previous video that I have. So I hope you get something out of this video, and if you like this sort of content, then hit the like button. All right, talk soon. So now we're actually getting into the macro level. How do you keep yourself excited and motivated to keep doing the tasks long term, okay? Because what will happen is you'll start to notice there's tasks that are like easy to do, like, oh, take out the rubbish, or, you know, put the dishes, clean the dishwasher out. So what you're going to realize is there's going to be tasks that you can't complete in a day, you can't complete in a week, you can't complete in a month. How do you actually get those tasks completed? So what you need to do is you need to, I got this again from Jordan Peterson, you need to negotiate with yourself and ask, what is something that I could do, that I would do, that would get me in the right direction to actually get a small piece of that task done? And here's the key, how would I reward myself for completing that task? And actually have like a bit of back and forth with yourself, okay? So, oh, if I do this task, what's a reward that is I would do to myself or give to myself for actually completing that task? And stick to your own rules, okay? If you don't complete the task, don't reward yourself. If you attempted to complete the task, but you didn't complete it, then don't beat yourself up, but reduce the reward amount because you didn't actually finish it. But so you need to sort of negotiate with yourself a reward that is, like, in your opinion, level with the difficulty and the length and the mundaneness of doing that particular task, okay? That's how you start to rewire your brain and start to get that reward circuitry loop. Oh, I actually do something that's hard, oh, I get rewarded for it. Oh, I do something that's hard, then I get rewarded for it. Oh, I gave it my best effort, I get rewarded for it. And that starts to get you more and more excited and motivated to actually go and do the task that you've set out that you know that you should be doing. So you're probably thinking, okay, one of the caveats that's probably going to come up here, or questions you're probably asking, I should say, is I don't have time for this shit. I don't have time, okay? So what I would say is if you only have a short time, all right, it might actually make sense for you actually to do pieces of it and then go back to doing whatever you need to do, okay? But another thing is thinking about, like, what about if you actually sat down, you actually planned for 15 minutes, half an hour, and then actually put that together so that you can actually know what order things are in, so that the tasks actually get done in a more timely manner because you're not making so many mistakes. So you kind of have to work out, is the task going to take a long time? Is the task going to not take a long time? Is the complexity of the task too big? And you're trying to do, people generally do that on the fly. But if you can maybe sit down and actually spend a little bit of time to actually lay the thing out in such a way that you'll be able to understand and what makes logical sense, you may actually save time overall and get the task or whatever you need to do done in a more timely manner versus if you actually just winged it and went from there. So something that you have to sort of work out. Where it gets scary is you think a task is going to take a certain amount of hours or time, but in actual fact it takes weeks. So like you're going to have to like learn over a period of time to become better at how long tasks actually take to get completed. So a good example out of my own life is like, oh, I'm going to be able to fix my car in 2 days. In 14 days later, because I had problems come up, I don't have the correct tooling, I bought the wrong part, you're still working on the car. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you've had those situations where, or an example of when you've actually gone and you've said, yep, it's only going to take a day, it's only going to take a week, and there you are weeks, months, or whatever later, and it's happened to you. I'll leave a comment in the comment section below on an example in your life where that's happened to you. All right, maybe I'll just expand on a few of the other things that I've talked about so far. So there's sometimes you're in like a heavy growth period, okay? You're in an expansion period and you really don't have a lot of time to plan, okay? So you might be moving house, or you might be in this intense work period at your work. You're trying to accomplish something and you're literally working from the moment that you get out of bed, from the moment that you go back to bed, okay? So you're just like completely overwhelmed and inundated with work. So like, what do you do in those sort of situations? Well, in those like hardcore moments where you're jacked up, you've got a lot of anxiety, you've got a lot of stress, your brain is being called upon and being pushed to actually try and like do a lot of those things in like working out the order of things at a very fast pace, because you don't actually have a choice. So it's like your brain slotting in and logging in jobs to try and work out, where do I put this so that I can actually get it all done in a reasonable time frame. So on one hand, if you literally don't have time and your hair's falling out, you're like your eyes are all puffed out, you're not getting a lot of sleep, you don't even have time to eat, you don't even have time to do the washing, then you're just going to have to rough it out and just like know and try and keep motivated and realize when this is actually completed, then there'll be a small like break and you can go into a bit more of like a lull in the battle per se. But I would ask you, when you're in these sort of situations, to do what I said earlier. Maybe it might make more sense for you to actually put aside time in the morning, maybe even if it is only 5 minutes, to actually briefly plan out your day, so that you can actually like have a sense of direction and have a sense of certainty, so that you can reduce some of your anxiety, reduce some of your like overwhelm and the chaos that's going on in your brain, because now you've actually got a written plan to be able to go after what's actually needs to be done in the correct order. I know that's a bit of a wishy-washy way of saying it, but I'm hoping that you understand what I'm talking about here. So if you've been using the list or whatever you've created for a period of time now, you're probably starting to realize that the list is never ending, okay? Things are popping up, things that have been added to the list, and this might actually start to sort of get you down a little bit. You're like, oh, am I ever going to see this whiteboard clean? Well, one of the things you need to realize is this is going to be an ongoing thing. You're never going to have this completed. You're not trying to seek completion. I'll say that again. You're not trying to seek completion. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get to a more organized state, so that when things actually pop up that you do want to do, or goals or things that you do want to do, you've actually got like, you're organized enough to be able to take on those projects. So this is actually going to become like a lifelong thing that you do. It's like a habit that you're going to get into, so that you can actually do the things that are important. People that are generally organized actually get things done. People that are more organized generally achieve their goals, achieve their dreams, and have a purpose in their life. And the people that aren't organized, that have all these ideas rolling around in their head, generally don't actually achieve any of them, because they haven't built out a plan and they don't know how to execute on that plan. So this is going to become something that you're going to do probably for the rest of your life. And if you stick with it for long enough, you'll probably start to see the actual gains and the benefits of doing it, and you'll want to continue doing it anyway on those sort of things. So you have to stick it through. Another thing is you want to sort of get in the habit of like becoming present and learning to enjoy the process, okay? So if you're trying to like frantically do the task just to move on to the next task and not be present whilst you're doing these tasks at all, your life is going to be fucking miserable, okay? So David Data talks about this, and I have mentioned this in other videos, where he says if you've become this robot where you're just going from one task to another task and you lose track of the bigger picture, your life's just not going to be as fruitful and fulfilling as you thought it would be. So you want to be able to do the task, but at the same time sort of have a sense of fulfillment and a sense of accomplishment whilst you're actually doing the task. So some things that you could say to yourself are like, oh, fantastic, I'm actually getting around to doing this. Oh, this is good. If I get to do this, I get to do that. And whilst you're doing that task, you actually sort of have a sense of confidence and fulfillment from that. There's a lot of like self-esteem that comes with saying, oh, I'm actually going to do this, like I'm actually doing this video. And then whilst you're doing the video now, like I'm feeling really good doing this video, but at the end of the video, I feel a sense of accomplishment because I actually fucking did it. So for whatever it is for you, you'll start to feel and understand what I'm talking about this. So I can't really put this into words, but that's the best way that I can put this into words. It's something that you intuitively know and you feel within yourself as you actually start to do this and have this habit brought up and processed in your life. All right, so now I want to summarize this for you so that you actually have something that you can take home and implement very, very fast, okay? So what are the actual goals here, okay? The goals are, one, to simplify your life and increase the certainty that there'll actually be positive outcomes for your goals or your purpose or the things that you're actually going for. Another side note is you have to realize that if you're spread too thin and you've got all these different ideas and goals that you want to do, you probably won't achieve any of them. So you need to sort of knuckle down to maybe 2 or 3 projects and focus on them in order to actually get them achieved. Okay, there's another exercise that I want to talk about in another video that actually gets you to realize what's most important. So if you like the idea of that, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also maybe leave that in the comment section below so that I know to actually do those videos. Keeps me motivated to do these videos. So the human mind can only really alternate between 2, maybe 3 projects, okay? So I think what I'll do is I'll save that for another video. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too much. So the idea here, if I was to put this whole video into one line, is you want to stay on top of things so that when a big project that you actually want to do comes up, or a goal, or you need time to actually process things and find out what your purpose is, you actually have time and the organizational skills to be able to go after it and to be able to put yourself in a position so that at a later stage you might actually be able to go after it. That's one of the biggest goals of this entire video. And the fourth thing is you get to increase your confidence, you get to reduce stress and anxiety, you get to have a more of self-esteem, knowing that if you put your mind onto a task and you say that you're going to do it, or you've written down that you're going to do it, that it will actually be achieved eventually. And that's something that you will only, I can only point you in the right direction, but you'll have to actually feel and understand it for yourself by implementing the strategies that are in this video. So if you got something out of this video, I want to thank you so much for watching. And if you could just hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, I really appreciate it. And also you'll be able to stay tuned for any new content that I put out just like this. If you think that you and I would actually be a good fit to work together, then by all means, I want you to reach out to me on Instagram. You and I can get on a one-on-one discovery call and actually see if we're a good fit. And if we are a good fit, we can actually put you through my mentoring program, or I can tailor something to suit your needs, okay? I know how crazy it is when you're trying to work out what your purpose is, where your direction in your life is, where your direction of your life is going, how you can actually get organized. I love talking about this stuff, and I have so many of these strategies that I want to share with you. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, by all means reach out to me. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and Dice out. Nice.